welcome to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary with your host, Uncle Ronnie. And now, here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
We are here having a party. Does anybody know what that's going to be about?
Could it be July 4th?
Tomorrow is July 4th.
Independence Day.
You bet. American Independence Day. And we are so excited. It's going to be, I believe it's 243 years. Happy birthday, America. Wow. I'll tell you, this is really exciting, ladies and gentlemen. But welcome to Fighting Back. This is a Hub Radio Network in Phoenix. We put facts in honest, historic content. Liberty and freedom live here. But tonight we want to talk about so many things. We decided not to have a guest because it's just, everything's so fluid and exciting right now.
So much going on.
There's parties and picnics, just as our founding fathers asked us to do, is to always celebrate America. And so we're going to do that. But before we do, I wanted to talk real quickly again about, we had a guest here several weeks ago, Tracy Ireland. And Tracy happens to know a gentleman by the name of Gene Ho. He has been the official President Trump photographer. And we're going to be doing a special program here in August that's going to be Trump in Focus. Now this gentleman has done movie stars, he's done athletes, and he has done some really special work with President Trump. So we're going to have him here in the studio, and then the next day, I believe it's the next day, we're going to have him in our general offices here for people to see, purchase some of his photographs of President Trump. It's going to be really, really exciting. But before we go on here, I got to introduce the two gals here. I didn't realize till last week they both have the names of animals.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's Cat Steele, and Gloria Fox. I got to come up with some kind of an animal name like Uncle Ronnie Lion or something like that. But that is my sign is lion, so I guess we could kind of call this the zoo. So, at any rate, what I wanted to talk about tonight, we just lost yesterday. We lost a great American, Lee Iacocca.
An icon of industry. He was a wonderful man.
And Lee Iacocca was a first-generation American. His mom and dad came from Italy. And he came here and he got into the automotive industry. He became the president of Ford Motor Company. And one of the things that I like to study this man's life, because he always thought outside the box. And most people don't even know that he was the father of the Ford Mustang.
I didn't know that.
Yep, he was the designer of the Ford Mustang. And that was just an iconic vehicle. I mean, it was just the 64 and a half. Remember the 64 and a half model?
I had a classic fastback.
Oh, those
Unfortunately,
were beautiful
sold
cars.
it. I wish I had it today.
Oh, they were beautiful cars. And then he got into a fight with Henry Ford II, which everybody had fights with the Henry Fords. No matter what Ford you were, you got in a fight with some of the people that made your business go. And he went over to the Chrysler Corporation, which was in deep trouble then. It was the number 3 American auto manufacturer. And he took that over, and he did a couple of things. One was the K car, which pulled Chrysler out of debt.
That.
And he picked up some federal funds, and that was a time when I even had trouble. Should the federal government loan private industry money to build cars? And I was against that. He not only did it, he did it so successfully that long before the funds were due back to the government for the loan, he had already paid it off. But the other thing that really, really is exciting about this, and this goes from around the world, he invented the minivan.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
He did. And he had the Plymouth, I think it was a Plymouth Voyager, and a Dodge Caravan were the two vehicles. And they were the only one that had done something similar to that before then was Volkswagen. Remember the little flower
Yes.
buses? We used to
Yes.
call them.
The
With all the
buses,
hippies
yeah.
painted flowers
Right.
on it. And after that,
I think it's still neat when we see those
Yes.
on the streets still.
You don't see them
there's
too
not
often.
a lot
either.
of them left anymore because they've stopped making them long ago. And of course, the minivan now is probably one of the biggest sellers of automobiles around.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more minivans around than there are even pickup trucks. And in Arizona, folks, pickup trucks are king. Believe me, everybody has a pickup truck. So, but then he did something after he left that I really liked. He was a great American, even though he was first generation. He understood America. And we had, at that time, we had some of our national monuments that were crumbling. One of them was the Statue of Liberty. The other one was Ellis Island. And I remember he sent out things to get private funds to rebuild it, not government funds, private funds. And I remember I thought, wow, this is something else. I'm going to send them $100, and I got a little brick, that everybody had a brick with your name on it that you donated to Ellis Island. And I was so happy because I thought, gee, all my relatives came in from Ellis Island, and I thought this was really something to mark my relatives coming in from Europe. And then I did some genealogy and found they were here before Ellis Island. And I didn't know how to get a hold of Lee Iacocca to ask for a refund. but at any rate, I was very pleased with that. I think those are some American monuments that are millions and millions of people came into this country through there. And it's one of the iconic American landmarks that... Now, there's a lot of them, but that was always one that I found. It's the first part of America that a lot of people coming over from Europe
Right.
saw. And his family came through Ellis Island as well, and that's one reason he wanted to do that. So I was really excited about donating that $100, even though I found later that my relative did not come through there.
But you did a good thing.
I did a good thing. And I've never been back to see if my money was wisely spent. Somewhere in Ellis Island, there's a little brick that says, paid for by Ron Lutters. I should have put it Uncle Ronnie.
You probably at least paid for part of that copper plate that was done over.
Yeah. So there's a lot that's been going on.
And he was like 92, I think.
94.
94. Wow.
And
That's a long
it was
time.
interesting. At one time, he had thought about running for president of the United States.
I do remember that. I'd forgotten that.
And he had a problem with that. He didn't care for either political party.
Smart man.
Yeah.
And so he oftentimes wondered, which party would I run on if I did run. So, at any rate, let's talk a little bit about...
Before you move on, I always loved what he said: lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Right.
I always thought that. Oh, it said so much.
It does.
Well, he did something.
It works today.
He did something else, and I just thought of it. It was one of the greatest commercials I have ever heard. When he took over Chrysler and started building a really fine automobile with Chrysler, with the K cars and the minivans, he did the commercials himself, which is very unusual for a president of a company to do their own commercials. And if you remember, it went like this: if you can find a better car, buy it. Do you remember that?
I don't.
I don't remember that.
If you can find a better car than what we build, buy it.
Huh.
I remember the ads with Ricardo Montalban, and what was he advertising? I can't remember the car.
Fine Corinthian leather.
Yes,
it was a
Corinthian-
Chrysler product
it was
as well.
a Chrysler
Yeah.
product, yes. I
Yeah.
can't remember what that was.
Well, I got some good news for those of you that are good conservatives out there and you listen to this radio and other slightly larger like Fox News.
Slightly.
Little, are they? They're just slightly larger, aren't they, Mr. Producer? And that is that.
But we're working on it.
How do we say? One person at a time.
Yeah, that's right.
So, at any rate, what we did find out is that the latest records, tests, whatever they call them out there, to determine, the popularity of the news channels. Fox is number one.
Oh, it always is.
Fox is number
Yes.
one. MSNBC is number two.
Oh.
But they've got to be way down.
CNN is number 15. The Howdy Doody show is ahead of them.
Oh my God.
Captain Kangaroo is ahead of And one of the
I
things
think
that
the
was
cooking
amazing,
channel is ahead of them.
yes. But here's the thing. Fox had primetime viewers of 2.4 million, MSNBC 1.6 million, CNN 761,000. And now some of you that may not know this, when President Trump used the label fake news, he was talking about CNN.
CNN.
We also believe that's MSNBC now. Sadly, tomorrow is going to be a huge celebration down on the Capitol Mall in Washington, D.C., and NBC has decided not to cover it.
Not surprised.
And it's troubling to the point that I think when we go into this and we look at what America is, it's so many things our founders told us to constantly celebrate, every year to celebrate, with picnics and fireworks and parades. And we have done that for 243 years. And now the Democrats, this is just a political stunt. No, not
Since
so.
when is patriotism political? That's what I'd
When
like to know.
Donald Trump is involved.
It's not.
It shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be.
Oh gosh, we have this music, Summer Place, I think that's called. And oh wow,
It is something.
I got heat stroke this past weekend, and it has been a miserable time because summer here is
It's
like
hot.
110, 112 degrees, and that's what it was. Any rate, you stick around here because I'm not going to succumb to heat stroke tonight.
It's
I'm alive
cool
and
in
well.
here. It's cool in here.
Happy birthday, America. Stay tuned.
We should all have a flag.
China is the oldest culture in the world, with a written history dating back some 3,500 years. And even 3,500 years ago, China's civilization was old. What do they attribute their longevity to? Healthy eating. Put some longevity in your life and enjoy fine Chinese cuisine at Yao's Restaurant at 2487 South Gilbert Road in Gilbert. For takeout and catering, call 480-899-0308. That's 480-899-0308. Yao's Fine Chinese Cuisine.
Do you have a face for radio? I know I do. And when I found how easy it was to get started in an interesting, informative radio program, I jumped at the chance. Since AM radio program is being replaced by podcasting, you can even create your own programming from your home. Hi, I'm Ron Lutters, better known as Uncle Ronnie on my Fighting Back radio program. If you have a business, a hobby, or a passion and you would like to share that with others, then podcasting may be for you. With strong desire, some talent, and a deep passion, you too could get your radio message on your very own radio programming on Hub Radio Phoenix Network. We have one of the best broadcast engineers in Arizona to help you every step of the way. If you are interested in the enjoyment of podcasting, call me at 602-677-1496 to discuss the effective and affordable way to own your very own radio program. That's 602-677-1496. Do you You have a face for radio, I know I do, and when I found how easy it was to get started in an interesting, informative radio program, I jumped at the chance. Since AM radio program is being replaced by podcasting, you can even create your own programming from your home. Hi, I'm Ron Lutters, better known as Uncle Ronnie on my Fighting Back radio program. If you have a business, a hobby, or a passion and you would like to share that with others, then podcasting may be for you. With strong desire, some talent, and a deep passion, you too could get your radio message on your very own radio programming on Hub Radio Phoenix Network. We have one of the best broadcast engineers in Arizona to help you every step of the way. If you are interested in the enjoyment of podcasting, call me at 602-677-1496 to discuss the effective and affordable way to own your very own radio program. That's 602-677-1496.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Join me live and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. This month, Quantum Digest is on special. It's the most purified USP plant enzymes. No matter what you eat, it has the power to support its digestion. Buy 2 bottles, get the third one free. Call 800-370-3447.
You're listening to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary. And now here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
Welcome back to America's birthday party. We're here, got my little flag, and I want to tell you all what this is about. A lot of people don't know about our flag, and it's very, very important that you do. We have a flag with 50 stars, and they're up in this blue field right here, and each star represents a state in the Union. The original flag was called the Betsy Ross Flag, and it had 13 stars in a circle up here. It also has 13 stripes for the original 13 colonies, and this is why each star represents a state. At that time, each star represented a colony in which we had dropped out from the British, declared our independence. Now, the colors are very significant. Does anybody know what colors the British flag is?
Same colors. Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue. Isn't that
Jack.
amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the most unique flag in the world. I've never seen a country that had a flag like this. So we're very proud of that. And what we have here is the white. The white stripes represent innocence and purity, and the red on the flags represent strength and valor. The blue field represents, well, there's a little controversy with that. Some people believe it represents heaven, and these are the stars of heaven. Now, Arizona is one of those stars, and this is our home. Mm-hmm. Kind of heaven.
Yeah, okay.
So
I don't think I've ever heard that.
well, it feels a lot with
I
the
haven't heard
temperatures.
that either.
With the temperatures right now, it feels a lot
Like the other way. Yeah.
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 It's hot as
Yes.
heck out there.
Hades.
It's
Yeah.
hot as Hades out there. So, any rate, this past week we had, while we were broadcasting last week, if you remember, we kept telling people that we were hoping people were listening to us while the zoo was going on. The what do we call it?
The
The
debate.
clown show.
Yeah, the clown show.
And it was a debate. They had them 2 nights, and it was much, much more than a clown show. It started out with something. Now, you have to remember that we're a country that is not a socialist country, but some of these people want us to move into socialism. So, Mr. Producer, could you play cut number 1?
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants. Okay.
The interesting thing there is all of the people there said they wanted to supply insurance, free insurance for illegal
Illegals.
aliens.
Out of their own pockets.
Out of our pockets, not theirs. Now, what's the definition of free?
Well, it's at no cost to them, but it's at cost to someone.
Yeah.
The rest of us, or it goes into the big, massive debt that we have accumulated.
It's free is given or available without charge.
Now, as we play some of these things going down the line, we're going to see that free to a socialist just means the reintroduction or redistribution of wealth. Now, I don't know why a person should be able to come to the United States illegally. They're here illegally. Many of them also go to court and they're asked to leave the country voluntarily or be thrown out of the country. And they say no, they hide. That's twice they violated American law. And now the Democrats believe that we should pay for their medical expenses while in America.
Well, the other statistic I heard today was 90% of those that are seeking amnesty have not a justifiable reason for amnesty.
You mean asylum?
For amnesty.
Oh, for amnesty?
Whatever you want.
It's 90% are wanting citizenship
Yeah.
and amnesty. What they're doing, they're coming here saying we really want to become Americans.
Right. And so they want to come, and so 90%, but they don't have a justifiable reason, and so they should be going home. And then the other 10%, they say do have a justifiable reason, but they all stay here.
Well, that's for asylum. Pardon
No,
me.
they're asking for amnesty, is what they're asking for. I don't know if they're.
They don't have a legal right to ask for amnesty.
That's what they're coming for.
Well, most of them are being groomed down there to come in
Correct.
and ask for asylum. Asylum is different. Asylum is where you come in and ask to be protected from some kind of situation that's happening in your country. And as far as I know, it's only for political retribution from their government or fear for their lives from, well, for instance,
Right.
Christians in the Middle East have a legitimate request for asylum. These people don't, but it is asylum. Amnesty's different. The amnesty is when we pass a law that forgives them of their crime of coming in illegally.
That's what they're asking for us to forgive them.
But they want that too.
Yeah, that's what they're asking for, and so they just want to be able to come and stay here. But 90% of them, they have, regardless if it's they're asking for amnesty or asylum, they don't have there's not a reason for them to
They
be here.
can't be accepted for amnesty is all I'm saying. They can only be accepted for asylum. That's why they're in these big camps down on the border, because they are asking for asylum and they have to be given a court hearing.
Right.
They have to go before a judge,
Right.
but they don't do that for amnesty.
Well, the word I keep hearing is amnesty. That's what they're all talking about, amnesty.
Well, they
Well,
always change
I
it.
think one of the things is that our Democrat friends are trying to confuse us as to what they're really
Maybe.
asking for. Now, I wanted to go into the next one. This is cut number 2, Mr. Producer. Let me lead us into this. During this debate, it was poorly run, extremely poorly run. There were no questions. There were no questions regarding the economy,
The
which
vets.
is the best economy in the world, and there were no questions about American foreign affairs and American foreign policy, which at that time the president was in Asia. He was over with President Abe of Japan, and he had a marvelous trip there and got a lot of work done. But none of those were. So here was the way the Democrats reacted. Questions were asked by the moderators, and I'll just give you a real quick. Here's the way that was answered. number.
On this issue, we have to think about how this affects real people.
Why are you defending private insurance?
Okay. They all talked over each other. Very rude. Extremely rude. And they talked over each other. And even when they tried to break them up, they were still having some difficulty. Now, when we talk about amnesty, okay, where are most of these people coming from?
They're not coming from. They're coming from Guatemala, Honduras, and Latin America, yes.
And what's the predominant language in Latin America?
Spanish.
And Portuguese.
Yeah, that's
Spanish and Portuguese, pretty much the same.
Well, not from Central America.
Well, south.
But yeah, south Brazil.
South Central, yeah, all the way down there. And so a question was asked of Beto O'Rourke. Now, let me explain who Beto was. This is a man who, for some reason, O'Rourke is an Irish name. Now, Americans have a lot of Irish. As a matter of fact, our great producer is Irish. And he has an O in his name sometimes, and other times he doesn't, but he's lost the O. He's Mr. O'Connor and sometimes Mr. Connor. But we have this guy, his name is Beto O'Rourke. Beto is a nickname for Robert. His name is actually Robert O'Rourke.
Robert Francis.
And so he was asked the question by the moderator, and let's go to his answer. That's number 3.
Cada persona en nuestra democracia. Cada votante.
I didn't quite recognize what he said. I don't speak Spanish, but this man, not only does he speak Spanish, but on Monday, where do you think he was campaigning for president of the United States?
In Mexico.
Yes, folks, he went to Mexico to campaign for president of the United States. Now we have another gentleman.
I have to say something, though. Cory Booker's face when Beto O'Rourke, when he was speaking Spanish, was priceless, because it was as if, wait a second, you stole my thunder, because it was the same thing that Cory Booker did. And he was standing there with his mouth open, like, what are you doing?
But now, here's Cory Booker's answer to a question. That's number 4, please.
La situación ahora es inaceptable.
Wow. I don't know. The language, official language in the United States is
English. Last I knew.
And they're now Beto and Booker are both out there speaking Spanish when they're asking questions, which is kind of a dumb move, because if you're wanting to run for office and you're trying to get your points and your issues out there, and when 90% of the population doesn't understand what you're saying,
yep.
And of course when you do understand what they're saying, it's pretty bleak to start with. So now we have a guy named Castro, who in fact was the mayor of San Antonio, and he was a member of the Obama administration, and this is what he says. Number 5, please.
On January 20th, 2021, we'll say adios to Donald Trump.
I don't think so, Mr. or Senor, I guess is the way I would say that. Senor, no, we're not going to say adios. So anyway, we had 3 different, out of 20 people, we had 3 of them decided that it was advantageous for them to speak Spanish.
Just pandering.
It is. Great word. I'm glad you said that.
Yep.
It's pandering.
Pandering.
For sure. And then we had another guy who spoke English, but it was very difficult for us to understand what he was saying, and that's Joe Biden. So let's play with what some of the things that Joe Biden said, because you'll see what I mean when I'm saying, even though he spoke English, I don't know what he said.
Look, number 1. Number 2. Secondly, the price for whatever the drug renewable sources. The act that allowed after President got elected. My time's up. I'm sorry.
Did anybody out there in Radio Land understand what he said? Because I don't. Number 2. Oh my gosh.
The time goes so fast.
It does. And we still got more things to play. Oh,
so
wow.
many issues, so little time.
So little time. I hope you're all having as much fun as we are here. Even though I've got a bad back and I'm sitting here wearing a girdle, it's fun. And listen to that beautiful Spanish music. Mr. O'Connor thinks he's a Latino
He
as
has
well.
a little Latino in him. Irish Latino.
Michael. We'll just call him Michael. Okay, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Festus. Take it from me, Dr. Sky knows good food when he tastes it. And we're both agreeing that it's Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue for some fine Texas fiddles. That's barbecue for you city folk, and I ain't just agreeing ya. Heck, they got their start in Leon Springs, Texas, long before I wore long pants. They've even got 2 locations in Arizona, one in Chandler and one in Goodyear. They's open Sunday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., and Fridays and Saturdays till 10:30. For the best brisket, sausage, turkey, ribs, hold on, my mouth's watering already, and chicken and pork loin cooked over an open oak fire, yeehaw. Don't forget to get some of that great Rudy's barbecue sauce. No need to get all gussied up. Just come as you are, fire up that computer gizmo and check them out at rudysbarbecue.com. That's Rudy's, RUDYSBBQ.com.
Do you have a face for radio? I know I do. And when I found how easy it was to get started in an interesting, informative radio program, I jumped at the chance. Since AM radio program is being replaced by podcasting, you can even create your own programming from your home. Hi, I'm Ron Lutters, better known as Uncle Ronnie on my Fighting Back radio program. If you have a business, a hobby, or a passion and you would like to share that with others, then podcasting may be for you. With strong desire, some talent, and a deep passion, you too could get your radio message on your very own radio programming on Hub Radio Phoenix Network. We have one of the best broadcast engineers in Arizona to help you every step of the way. If you are interested in the enjoyment of podcasting, call me at 602-677-1496 to discuss the effective and affordable way to own your very own radio program. That's 602-677-1496.
I want to live better and do more for the environment. I just want to be healthy, but I don't even know where to start.
I just subscribed to an awesome magazine called Green Living with great tips, events, and recipes that help me go green and live healthy.
Green Living magazine will inspire you to make eco-conscious decisions for a healthy life and a healthy planet. Pick up Green Living today at Fry's, Whole Foods, and 500 other locations statewide. Or subscribe at greenlivingaz.com. Find us on Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Live, work, and play green with Green Living magazine.
Las Vegas, Nevada, regarded as the Mecca of gambling, stage shows, excitement, and memories that last a lifetime.
I want to be around to pick up the pieces when somebody breaks your heart.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Connors. What better way to remember this fabulous city than with your very own Welcome to Las Vegas sign? This amazing replica looks exactly like the original, with backlighting, blinking red and yellow star, and bordered by chasing Tivoli lights. This animated sign makes a great holiday gift and one that'll be remembered for a lifetime. To order this timeless piece of Las Vegas history, log on to the welcometolvsign.com or call 702-735-7446. A percentage of the proceeds are donated to the Nevada Cancer Institute. You're listening to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary. And now here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
Welcome to Fighting Back. We're putting facts in honest, historic context. Liberty and freedom live here. And it's America's birthday. Within 4.5 hours, we start the celebration of America's birthday. Well, we wanted to continue on with this debate, and so we wanted to put on, are you ready for number 7?
I got to reset.
Okay, it's got to reset number 7. We have, we shouldn't have taken a break. but at any rate, we did. Kamala Harris is a senator from California. And, of course, we already know about California. We're going to go through a couple of things in our final session here. We're going to call it Don't Californicate Arizona. And it's really interesting as to what has happened to that great state of Ronald Reagan when he was president. He had lived out there. Okay, so let's listen to Kamala Harris. She's going to be talking to Joe Biden about busing, and this was something that happened in the United States where we took students from one school and bused them to another school and bused the other students to that school, and it was all designed to desegregate our school systems.
Do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America? Do you agree? I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Okay, that's Kamala Harris saying that she was part of the second class in Berkeley. Now, anybody in the United States that knows anything about Berkeley, it's probably one of the most liberal cities in America.
Yes.
Now, what was wrong with her statement?
Well, it had been desegregated before she was even
for at least 10
there,
years
10
before
years
she
was
she claimed she was in second grade. It was desegregated before she was born.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, where did she go to school?
Was it in Canada or something?
Yes, her family moved to Canada, so she really didn't. So here's a woman that goes on national television, wants to be president of the United States, and lies about where she's at. Now, the thing that makes this even worse is she set Joe Biden up. She had all these T-shirts, I'm that girl.
Right.
And she had the hashtags, I'm that girl.
Uh-huh.
And so she set Joe up. And, of course, Joe's not real quick on his feet. But that took place. Now, we have a guy here that I admire a great deal. And the funny thing about it, he went to school in Berkeley,
yes,
and that's
he did.
Greg Gutfeld.
Yes.
And he should be a liberal by all stretch of the imagination because he did go to school there, but he's a conservative. And
I think he's more libertarian.
Yeah, he's a libertarian conservative. What do we have to say on number 8?
The leftists are like children, better to be seen and not heard.
I think that is classic. The left, the Democrats should be seen and not heard, because what's the one thing they push constantly? Free this, free that,
That's
free
right.
free education, free health care, free medicine, free child care. And once again, the word free to a Democrat just means to reassign funding.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, people that go to school for free, and I've never known any professors that actually worked for free. But what the students are saying is they want my money to pay for their education. And I don't know about you guys, I already paid for my education with my money. I didn't use anybody else's, I used mine. Well, Mom and Dad, thank you. Appreciated that. So now we have, this is what I really like. Number 9, we're going to talk about health care.
We will have Medicare for all when tens of millions of people are prepared to stand up and tell the insurance companies and the drug companies that their day is gone.
Okay, now, this man is a devout socialist. I mean, he's claimed to be a socialist. He's registered as a socialist, running as a Democrat. But today, I'm not sure there's much difference between a Democrat socialist and a socialist socialist. But one of the things that he has done here is he wants to do away with a multi-billion-dollar industry, and that is the private healthcare industry, insurance industry.
And it'll be another VA. That's what Medicare for All is.
It'll be worse because
It
be
will
bigger.
be. It will be.
Yeah.
But it's essentially a VA.
And actually, Medicare is one of our government programs that works
actually works
fairly well.
But
I mean, there's fraud in it, but it by and large, it works well.
But you put millions more onto it, it won't work well.
Now let's see what Greg Gutfeld had to say about, there were 20 of these people, 2 nights, 10 people on each night debating. Let's see what Greg Gutfeld had to say.
At least the country's mental health professionals are breathing a sigh of relief that we have 20 nuts safely in one place.
Even the people in the back and that were running the cameras and that were laughing when he said that.
I mean, you can't. How do you argue? I mean, that's plain and simple. Now we had one other person here. This it was a gal. I don't know where she came from. She was an author, and she kind of looked like she was a little spaced out. She did remind me.
She was a flower child.
Yeah, I was going to see. She reminds me of the Haight-Ashbury group of people from San Francisco, and she made this statement. This is really good. This is how we're going to run our government.
Donald Trump is not going to be beaten just by insider politics talk. He's not going to be beaten just by somebody who has plans. He's going to be beaten by somebody who has an idea what this man has done. You have harnessed fear for political purposes, and only love can cast that out. So sir, I have a feeling you know what you're doing. I'm going to harness love for political purposes. I will meet you on that field, and sir, love will win.
I don't even know what to say about that.
I don't even know what she means.
I mean, I would expect her to have been the flower girl with the daisies and just spreading good news around flowers.
Fairy dust everywhere.
Oh boy! Now, one of the men that I most respect is Herman Cain. He's a gentleman, a black gentleman. He ran for president of the United States a few years ago.
I love him.
The Democrats just clobbered this guy. Usually they embrace black people because they want them to be Democrats. But this man is a very, very smart man, and listen to what he had to say. You're going to love this.
Here's the bottom line on both nights of the Democrat debates. They were all losers. They were losers to the voters who care about being patriots and who care about this country and who care about the Constitution, our laws, and enforcing our laws. They were selling socialism at best, and in some of them, they were selling communism.
Very smart man. He recognized that there's not a lot of difference between socialism and communism, except for democratic socialism, and which is an oxymoron because they're two different concepts. I don't know how you could have that. It's kind of, I'm a liberal conservative.
Yeah, right.
It just doesn't make sense. We had some controversy here in Arizona, and we wanted to bring this up. And this was something that was really kind of a thing that came up very fast. There's a company called Nike, and they make sporting shoes and fairly good equipment, quite expensive. And they had hired a man by the name of Kaepernick, and he has worked with them. And he was this guy that refused to put his hand over his heart for the national anthem when it was being sung, if you recall. He wouldn't stand for it. He got down on one knee and caused a lot of controversy in the NFL, the National Football League. And the National Football League actually was crippled up pretty badly on this. And they had this beautiful shoe that was coming out tomorrow. It was called the Betsy Ross shoe. And it was, once again, it was our American flag. It was the very first one. And in the field here, where the blue is, there were 13 stars in a circle. It's a beautiful flag. We have one in the other room, as a matter of fact. He was offended by it. He was offended that the American flag, and there were some people on the TV last night too, and this offended me greatly. And they said, oh, well, that flag was the American flag when all black people were slaves.
Well, do you know what's interesting? I heard that she was actually an abolitionist.
Uh-huh.
Well, were all black people slaves?
No.
No.
No, they weren't all slaves. But this guy is an attorney, and he said, no, all black people were slaves. They were not. There were many free men. Many of them fought in the American Revolution as free
and lost
men.
their lives.
And lost their lives. Okay, golly, we got some more Latino music here, I guess. And
it's Latino night.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to be right back, so don't you go away. We're heading down the home stretch to partying in America.
Camelback Toyota, located conveniently on 16th Street in Camelback, off the 51 freeway, easy to get to right here in the city. You work downtown, stop on your way home, take a look at some beautiful new cars, used cars. Derek and John O'Malley Jr. and my mechanics in the back, Abe and Jared and Tom, my man Jake, Felix, John Wicks is there, Levi. They are trained and trained heavily. They know everything backwards and forwards on any Toyota. Customer satisfaction numero uno at Camelback Toyota.
Come home to the gated community of Crisman Peaks and 5,350 square feet of pure luxury. Floor plans include 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4-car garage, home theater, even guest quarters. Breathtaking views are included at no extra charge. For more information, call 602-505-0004. Custom homes with the quality you expect, the value you demand. Call 602-505-0004 today. Secrets of the Telephone Company and the Benefit of Pain. An all-new high-tech telecom thriller by Seth Friedman. Filled with mystery, intrigue, and murder.
You are authorized to complete your mission.
Secrets of the Telephone Company and the Benefit of Pain. Now Adele paperback. Don't answer the phone. Sight is a very precious gift. If the quality of your eyesight is becoming a concern, see a world of difference at Family Eye Care Associates. With over a quarter-century of experience in the Valley, Family Eye Care Associates offers complete diagnosis and treatment of cataracts, glaucoma, diabetes and dry eyes, and thorough retinal evaluations with dilated exams and retinal imaging. Specialized doctors, highly trained and certified technicians, licensed opticians, pediatric and geriatric care, contact lens fittings, and high-quality lenses and frames at prices you'll like. And as always, all of this comes with friendly, personalized service. We accept most insurances and have 2 convenient locations in both the East and West Valley. Give Family Eye Care Associates a call now. In Scottsdale, dial 480-419-3900. For the Glendale area, dial 602-843-2900. Family Eye Care Associates is a proud member of Vision Source, a network of premier eye care practices.
You're listening to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary. And now here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
Well, welcome back. We're on the last stages of this little party that we're having, but tomorrow there will be parties throughout America. Tomorrow night's what's the special?
President Trump.
President Trump and fireworks from the capital of the United States. It's going to be quite a party. And even though the Democrats don't like it because they didn't think about it, this is not the first time. I remember this going on time immemorial, even down to the one that I liked is our bicentennial. Remember the tall ships going down the Hudson River?
Oh, yes.
Oh, we had such great parties and so forth.
Was beautiful.
You know, I wanted to make a comment about when you were talking about the flag and the Kaepernick and the Betsy Ross with the 13 colonies. Well, what's interesting is that nobody said a word when Obama had that at his inauguration. He had those flags hanging behind him.
Oh, I didn't remember.
He
that.
had, and nobody said a word.
Nobody said a word then.
And nobody said a word now.
The Kennedy thing, they even had a mock-up of the PT boat that he was the commander of during World War II. And they were saying, well, why wasn't that something political? They said, let's not make this political. At any rate, for those of you that our home. You see my shirt? I'm the only one that thought about this. See the other? No, I shouldn't say that. She's wearing USA.
I have my USA on.
And
My
then,
red, white, and blue.
And then
Yeah.
Kat's wearing confetti. So no, everybody's got something except Mr.
Mr.
O'Connor. He's wearing a Mexican flag tonight. At any rate, I wanted to talk about a couple of things just as we leave. One is this global climate change that we always talk about, and while I did get this little heat stroke the other day, and it's always
Is it
hot.
climate change or global warming?
Global
Just checking.
climate change. I don't know.
Who
It
knows?
changes every week. But there was this wonderful article that I have in the enormous cost of wind and solar electricity. In order to provide the electrical power that we get through our grid currently, with nuclear power, coal, and gas, it would take almost every state the footprint to do this. With a wind farm would be from the Mississippi River almost to the Pacific Ocean. That's the size of the footprint. I don't know, you can see that here. It's 1,800,000 square miles that they would need. And solar farms, on the other hand, would require 570,000 square miles of solar panels. Now, that may not mean anything, but I did the math. That's the size of Alaska to provide the electrical energy that we now produce. With solar panels, you'd have to have 570,000 square miles of solar panels.
So with you saying that, the other aspect of that is overlooked, if this is all about protecting our air and the environment, is those solar panels only last about maybe 30 years.
Yep.
So then where do they put them? They put them in the landfills. So they are just as destructive. They're more destructive than nuclear.
Even the wind, these huge
the windmills
generating that they have.
They kill the
I
birds.
understand they kill the birds when they
Yes.
when they put them near the ocean. The fish go away because of the vibration of these things turning. It does something in the water, quivers the water, or makes a sound, and the fish go away. So it's not a good thing.
No.
Now let's talk very, very quickly about this, and we've probably done a little of this before. CO2, it's carbon dioxide. Okay, that's what we are told is creating global climate change. Unfortunately, the temperatures, if you look at charts closely, the temperature goes up, and the CO2 travels behind it. It doesn't cause it. It's an effect of temperature. And what's the biggest where do we get our temperatures from?
The sun.
The sun. The Phoenix Suns.
No.
No. It's the sun creates a lot of this energy, and so it's totally wrong. Now let's look at this. What do plants need to grow?
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah, that's what they need.
Which is what
CO2.
we breathe. We exhale carbon dioxide. So if we did not, and they keep saying, well, we've got to cut down the number of carbon. The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is just slightly above 1/10 of 1%. It hardly is enough to do any damage at all.
But we only have 12 years. Go ahead.
And I'll bet it all comes from Washington, D.C., doesn't
Yeah,
it?
the hot air comes
air.
from Congress and the Democrat debates. Any rate, the other thing is, what do the plants give off?
They give off oxygen, which we need and utilize.
Wow.
How about that?
So it's a symbiotic relationship that we should really love.
Thank you, God.
Yes.
You've done a wonderful job.
Yeah,
of
why do we
designing
think we're
this.
better than God?
I don't know, but there are people that think
we got to genetically
we're going to
modify
destroy all
everything,
this.
and don't get me started
Yeah,
on that.
I know. Now, we have, at any rate, I took these states, just for the wind farms alone, it would take the territory of Alaska, Texas, California, Montana, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, Wyoming, Oregon, and Idaho.
The entire landmass of those
Yes.
states. That's
to
ridiculous.
produce the same amount of energy that we get now.
In some of the areas, you couldn't even construct things there.
Right.
It's just folly. It's just absolute folly. And yet, what did you say? We have 12 years, 11 years now?
Yeah, I think 12 years or something like that.
AOC says we're going to all die because of this.
Yeah, and we all should believe her, right?
Oh, yes, Miss Truth Teller, and knows everything, doesn't know what a garbage disposal is, and is amazed when she sees vegetables growing out of the ground. Like she didn't even know that happened.
Well, isn't it interesting that we had a manufactured crisis at the border, but since she visited, it's now a real crisis?
Yeah, right.
And it's Trump's doing.
Right.
Yeah, and there are
not
people
hers.
drinking toilet water,
Yeah.
from what I've read. That's kind of ridiculous, too.
And she didn't want Wayfair to sell beds, but they're all sleeping on the floors.
And all the pictures you've seen of the kids sleeping on the floor were taken in 2014, and Barack Obama was president then.
May I say something?
You
I was
may.
thinking about this today, and I'd like to paraphrase, well, not really paraphrase, but I'd like to rephrase what Ronald Reagan said. Democrats are not the solution to the problem. Democrats are the problem.
Yeah.
And who said, Ronald Reagan said that?
Well,
said that?
his was government is not the solution to the problem, but I replace that with Democrats.
Yes, they definitely are. Let's put it this way. Right now, the Mexicans are watching our borders to the south so that people don't go into our country now. What are the Democrats doing to stop this? Nothing.
Well, that was the thing. I was listening tonight to something before coming over, and that was the thing. The Democrats are complaining, but they're not doing anything, and that's why Trump. I think that was all part of his plan to give them the 2 weeks, even though the story was that when they were going to start the deportations, they were going to start rounding everybody up, and evidently there was a leak that was happening, and that's why he agreed with Pelosi to extend it 2 weeks out. And I think that was all his plan, to say, okay, Democrats, here, you're getting 2 more weeks. You're the ones who are talking about it. Now do something. And they're not doing a thing.
Well, there was one other thing that happened this last week. The Supreme Court said you could not ask questions. Oh, no, they didn't say that. They remanded it to a lower court.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is that they don't know whether you can ask the questions or not. Yesterday, the major news, the fake news came out. This is totally fake news. They said that Trump has decided to drop that issue. They're not going to ask that question on the census. That is not true. The president told the Commerce Department to find a way to do it. Now, the Supreme Court is something that most people don't understand. They cannot tell a president how to do the job in his executive branch. It's the Commerce Department that does this. Okay, so the Commerce Department is the one that actually will be doing the census. They can ask whatever question they want. This question has been on the census forever.
Yes.
It's not the first time this has ever been asked. And the Democrats are just having a fit, and of course Roberts, being the coward that he is, and I think he is afraid to make tough decisions, and I'm really disappointed.
I think they have
with him.
something on him, or there's something.
So, at any rate, that's that. Now, listen, we've had such fun here that we're running out of time. But next time we're going to talk about Don't Californicate Arizona, and I wanted to just say this: California is quickly on its way to becoming the west coast of Venezuela.
Yep.
So for those of you that know what that means, California is nearly a socialist country.
We're a third world country.
And it is a
already.
third world country, and it's not getting any better. Okay, we're going to party tomorrow. We hope you party and appreciate American independence and all the good that America has done.
Happy Independence Day, everybody.
America is great because America is good.
Yes.
Good night and stay safe.
See
Bye
you
now.
next week.